So I just want to pull back for a minute and talk about your startup Wisdom Circle, which I found very interesting. Uh, so talk to me about Wisdom Circle and what you do at Wisdom Circle, and then we will plug in what you're talking about. So I want to plug in the Stanford Center of Longevity along with the changing workplace that you spoke about. So talk about Wisdom Circle first, and then I'll probably plug in some of the points, and we will connect those points as we gather our thoughts.
Perfect. So let me tell you the genesis of Wisdom Circle. The genesis of Wisdom Circle was I stopped coloring my hair. Suddenly all my hair was white, and suddenly I realized that people started looking at me different. And I was in my early 40s then, right? I'm 54 right now. And that's when I realized there's something going on here. I was getting a lot more respect. Now there is, in the Western world, there is ageism. For me, it was working the other way. I'm getting my driver's license renewed in 15 minutes. I'm always getting a seat on the Indigo bus. I take the metro, someone older than me stands up for me and says, "Sir, please sit." And I'm thinking, and and even client, like I was in the client facing work, I would go to meet very senior people. Earlier, I would be made to wait outside with the reception available. Now I was ushered into the boardroom, given better cutlery to drink tea. And I was thinking, man, this is something wrong, right? Suddenly the white hair is but then at the same time, people are like, oh, he's done. Like there were people older than me in my own company asking me how many more years I had to retirement. And I had 20 years for retirement left. I was 42 and retirement was at 62. And they're asking me, when are you retiring? And I say, again, so that was the other side of it. So then that is what got me started on studying the subject. So during COVID, I read a lot about longevity and aging. I probably have about 60, 70 books on the subject. So that's how the journey started, me trying to understand what is going on, which I don't understand. Because most of us understand this as we get older. In my view, I started understanding it when I was I treated as old, but I didn't think I was old. So again, took a lot of courses, learned. Then what happened was, because now I started looking a little more wiser, a lot of senior people started approaching me to say, Neeraj, can you advise us what we should do if we retire? And that's when I realized that the problem was much, much bigger. And I think in the years that I was there were probably hundreds of people I've spoken to who would say, Neeraj, you're retiring, don't know what to do. So I would ask them, do you have enough money? What do you want to do? And most people were lost, right? Because life was, life the way it was, pre-retirement was purpose enough for them. Bring up the kids, buy a house, become a CEO or become a CXO or become an expert. And suddenly, India still had 58 and that had become 60. And there's some companies still have 58 to say, okay, you're done. So that got me thinking again to say the world, we are all solving for younger people, but this massive demographic issue that is literally in this case on the horizon, that we are closing our eyes to say it's not my problem. When it is my problem, I will look. So that's the genesis of Wisdom Circle. And then when we started, we realized this was not an India problem, it was a global problem. The manifestation of it is very different. How it manifests in South Korea is different from how it manifests in Singapore, in the US, in Europe, in the UK, in Africa, in the Middle East. Because so there's, in some cases you have younger population, older, but India itself, the paradox of India is we have one of the lower median ages in the world with the second largest population in quantity over the age of 60. We have 150 million people, Swami, today who are over the age of 60 in India. By 2050, this will become 300 million people. Now, even if you take a sliver of that to say, oh, I'm only going to look at white collar, I'm only going to look at, people who are doing are working for someone, and I look at Provident Fund data and I come up with, even that is so big, right? And by the way, these people are not dying, right? The healthcare system are making them live.
Yeah.
Right? So then now what do? We essentially, our initial purpose was that we are going to bring both the sides together, organizations and people. What we have realized in the 3 years of doing this, that there are way many more people who want to work, meaningful contribution, than there are organizations that want to leverage them. In a country like India, we worry about, oh, will they take away younger people's jobs? So therefore, why should we, the old people have lived their life, let them be, let's focus on younger people. What they don't realize is there is so much wisdom, knowledge, experience, skills sitting with this group that is getting sidelined, that can be used for the betterment of economies, countries, intergenerational, upliftment. So we started with the idea, okay, we're going to do 3 things. We're going to help organizations leverage this talent pool. The second one was, I said, look, how can I create 1 million teachers out of retirees? By the way, the other word we've sort of now built, in many countries, they don't like the word retirees, so we've come up with post-career professionals. Don't ask me what it means, but I think it means something similar. But we are trying. I still say, because the word retirement means stop, but we are saying you have to continue working. So it's not, anyway, you get it right.
Yeah, perfect.
So so the second is this. Third is social impact organizations leveraging this segment. So it's free for people to come sign up on our platform. We call this group the wisdom generation. We say, look, it doesn't matter what age you are when you sign up. So we don't restrict anybody, because we say, look, everyone's going to get old. So come sign now or come sign later, you can see. But we prefer people to be over 50, or at least in that second half of their biological age limit, if you look at a 0 to 100. And we help organizations tap into this pool for short duration and part-time opportunities. So that's what we do.
And in your platform today, how many people have registered themselves?
So as of this morning, we have 101,000 people.
My God.
And it's just not stopping. And we don't market ourselves too much. That's why I'm saying there's a huge gap, and we've only been able to list like 2,500 odd roles. So there is a 1:40 gap, right? I mean, for every 40 people who want to work, there's only one opportunity. Now, it's on us as well, but